Hello there everyone, this is Commodore Urban once again with part 3 to the rebuild, showing you guys how to take apart, maintenance, and put back together a 264 type locomotive. Now since we've got this thing maintenanced and cleaned and it's in good working order, now it's time to put it back together. First thing you need to do is you need to put the body back on. And usually it's a lot easier to put the body on upside down. But just for the sake of showing you guys in the video, we're going to do it like this. Okay, the first thing I usually do is I put the screw back in place. Just so that it's got something, so that the motor is holding to something. Like so. Just like that. Now when you do this part here, you want to make sure all your wires and shit are not in the way when you get ready to ram this rod back in place. You want to make sure all your wires and shit are out of the way before you ram this rod back in, because this is going to be noisy. So now you set it down on the side, you take something like this and you just tap the fucker back in, and ta-da. Now your motor is back in. Alright, your next thing now, move that, we're going to drop the steam chest back in place. Well, we can't do that just yet. We got to drop your smoke unit back in place first. There we go. Do you see how that fits? There are two grooves right here that your smoke piston lever fit into. Your piston goes in, your lever goes in like so. Make sure it's in there like so. Make sure. See? Now you take your steam chest and you slide that fucker right back in like so. It may not do it perfectly first time, but I'm not trying to have it fucking do it perfectly either. Because, when you work on these old trains, nothing's ever easy as it seems. And there we go. It's back there in place. Now I gotta get your two big ass honking screws that go down in here. And I gotta get it reattached. Okay. Now here comes the hard part of it. Screwing these things back in using a pair of like dressing scissors as a screwdriver. Oh, that wasn't too hard. That wasn't too fucking hard actually. Well, the one, usually there's always one screw out of a group, out of like a pair. That'll give you a fucking trouble. Fuck. Like I said, guys, I'm doing this shit on the fly. I didn't even prepare for the video. I just sat around and I thought, I did not do a series of videos on how to do this. So I figured I should do that. And if I ever get like another type of engine or something, I'll do a video on that. And there you go, guys, it's in. Now you grab your pilot truck and I'm going to show you. You see that lip? You want to run that pilot truck on the lip. But before you put it on, you got to take it over and you got to slide it to where that little hook grabs onto the plate. And you want to take that whole assembly and you want to dump that fucker right in there. You want to drop that fucker right there. And you want to take your two little screws that we took out earlier, and you want to kind of just thread them in there lightly to where it'll hold the assembly before you start twisting and turning and all that other shit. Now we just take this and we tighten them up, which it won't take much tightening. See? Now we'll do this side, take it and we'll thread it. See? It's been a little bit easier than what it was, but it's still not being as easy as it could be. So we'll just take it and we'll just screw it in. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just use this. I think this will work better. Yep, this works much better. I need to get me a flathead screwdriver. They're not. Actually, I do have a flathead screwdriver sitting somewhere. I got a toolbox. I got a box of tools and shit that I use just for this, for working on this shit. But I ain't had it out for so long that there we go. Now your plate is back in place. Now, the next thing that I usually do is I usually put the rear truck back in place. Let's see. Okay, if you can see it, there is a hole right here, and that's what your shoulder drive screw is going to go into. And now with your drawbar in your rear truck, you want to make sure to drop them and line them up over that fucking hole so you have good clearance. Okay? Now you drop your drive screw in, your shouldered screw. Are you kidding me? This takes a few attempts, so this takes a few attempts. Like I said, this, shit this old usually will give you a bit of a headache, and it's a bit of a headache. Like I said, you gotta make sure your fucking holes and shit are all lined up, and then you just take your shoulder drive screw, and you gotta make sure to get it in just even a couple of turns. That's all it takes, just a couple of turns. Okay, now go ahead now and let's see if this works. Like I said, guys, this shit is hard. You never get this shit perfect on the money first time, never. I've maybe done it one time perfect right on the money first time, but that was a while back. There we go. Now you just gotta move shit around a little bit, make sure it moves, and then you just take your drive screw and you gotta clamp it all the way down because it's got a bit of a shoulder to it, so it'll allow the movement of. See, there we go. Now it's on. Last thing now to put on is your side rods. That's not hard. Okay, right here's your side rod assembly, which got your cross head and your side rod arm. You take your spacer, you set it over the hole in the wheel, you take your cross arm, slide it onto the lever. I don't know what it's actually called, but you gotta make sure you can just drop it like so, and you take your screw and you drop it and you kind of turn a little bit. You can hand turn this shit yourself. Okay, and then you just take it and you tighten it up. Now if you guys didn't see it that well, I'll do it this side like this where you guys can see it. Okay, and I want to reference to the names of shit from this book. So let me look here real quick for the name of that part. Okay. You take your crosshead. Well, before I do, take your spacer. You set it on here, right where the screw is going to go. Okay? Now you take your crosshead on this piece right here, and you run it on your crosshead guide. That's that metal colored thing right here. You slide it in and you drop it down. You take your shoulder drive screw, and you set it down in there and you twist it till it goes down. Then you take something like your pair of vice grips, and you just give it a nice little tug, and there you go, guys. It's back together again, and there it is. There is the 2016, or the 2018, sorry, the 2018 locomotive all back together and ready to go on the high iron on your Lionel layout. Now I'm going to do one more quick video. I'm going to show you the oiling and the lubrication, what you got to do on the outside of the locomotive. So until then, stay tuned for that.